So what will happen when Obamacare collapses? That's Trump's strategy now, having tried to replace, then tried to repeal. He's now saying, let's just let Obamacare fail, and then we'll see what happens. Now, the basic concept behind this strategy is that the desperation of the tens of millions of people who will lose their coverage will force the Democratic Party to the table to work with the Republicans to work on a replacement for Obamacare, and that will create a bipartisan need for action. Well, that all sounds great, but the problem is that bipartisan essentially means unanimous in the current Senate. In the past, bipartisanship meant you pass a bill with almost solid support from your own party, and you pick off 8 or 10 of the liberal or conservative, depending on who's who, of the other party to go along with you, and you cobble together a majority. But not in today's Senate. Chuck Schumer has such control over his caucus, and they are so devoted to a uniform, united anti-Trump position, that if you get one of them, you get 48 of them. And if you don't get 48 of them, you don't get any. So essentially, when saying they're going to work with the Democrats, they mean that instead of 50 votes, instead of 60 votes, you basically need 100 votes to pass a bill. And that creates a dynamic where the Democrats will absolutely take the Republican Party to the cleaners, because they will say, no, we want to continue the individual mandate to buy coverage. We want to continue the steep subsidies. We certainly want to continue with the Medicaid coverage. We want to continue the taxes on Obamacare. They're going to want to continue the whole thing. The only adjustment that they're going to be willing to make is to let Trump bail out the insurance companies with larger and larger subsidies. And that really is the key to this. Trump controls the oxygen supply to Obamacare. If he stops paying the subsidies to insurance companies, which he's within his rights to do, first of all, he has that power. It's not an entitlement program. And secondly, with the legal challenges to those subsidies, he has the right to stop them. They probably will be thrown out by the court soon anyway, because the legislation did not originate in the House. And that litigation is proceeding, and that will probably kill the subsidies anyhow. But at that point, what's going to happen is that the Democrats are going to say, look at those poor tens of millions of people standing out there without any health insurance. They have no coverage. They have nothing. We have to help them. We have to come to them in their hour of need. We can't stand on rigid ideology and keep them out in the cold. That's what the Democrats are going to say. Now, of course, the reality is that we are 1 or 2 votes of stubborn, cowardly Republican senators away from fixing this problem without the Democratic Party dragging us back to Obamacare. It is only the cowardice of senators like Caputo of West Virginia, Heller of Nevada, and 1 or 2 others, as well as the rigidity of Ron Paul, of course, of Kentucky, that is stopping the replacement bill from being passed. So at this point, you're really looking at the intransigence of the Democrats, the cowardliness of the Republicans, and the buildup of the public need for some political action. And that's going to create a very unstable situation, and God knows how it's going to resolve itself. I hope that it resolves itself by pressure building on the Republicans when they see how intractable and intransigent the Democrats are to do what they should have done in the first place, which is to pass the bill as modified by Ted Cruz. But with the likes of Mike Lee of Utah and Moran of Kansas demanding strict ideological conformity and absolutely move down this specific road, you really have very little chance of constructive action. So let's see what happens. This is going to be a very interesting experiment in American politics. Thanks for watching.